He specifically chose this manual because he wanted to challenge himself. His strength is in injecting spontaneous humor into his presentations. However, deliberate and planned application of humor in his speech is something he would like to master. This evening, he invites you to join him on that journey. Please welcome Marshall Northcutt.
Thank you. Thanks, Sherry. Okay. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, it's been said that confidence is neither bought nor taught, it's caught. Now, it's also true that we can lose it. I'd like to share 3 quick stories with you and give you a theme on confidence for each story. Gary was a lifetime Cub Scout master. He resides right here in Southern California, and I just met Gary on this past weekend. And Gary had an opportunity to take his scout troop over to Sweden for a summer break and part of the Cub Scout get-together. And Gary had a lot of concerns. He was very, very worried about certain things, specifically to do with the travel. And so he wanted to feel very confident that his Cub Scouts knew what exactly was allowed and what was disallowed in terms of the items that they could carry in their luggage when they traveled on the airplane. Gary went through all the rules with both the parents as well as the young Scouts. The trip over to Sweden went without a hitch, and he was so pleased. They had a great time while they were over there, and then on the return trip, as they were going through security, one of his young Scouts was stopped. Gary, still very confident, went over to see what was the matter. He approached the security guard, and the security guard said, "It appears that this young lad has a knife in his backpack." Gary was confident that that was not true, and he asked the scout. The scout said, "No, my knife's not in my backpack. My knife is with my luggage." The scoutmaster, Gary, said, "Why don't we run it through the scanner one more time?" So they did. This time, for sure, there was a knife or some type of object within the backpack. So security did a quick search in the backpack, and aha, it revealed a knife. Gary looked at the young scout with disappointment and dismay. And he said, "Why is your knife in your backpack?" To which the young scout replied, "That's not my knife. I found that knife." First lesson on confidence. Sometimes confidence is based on perception, and it can be misguided and misdirected if you don't have the right information. Second lesson on confidence. I used to do a lot of deer hunting with my brothers. We used to travel up in the woods, and on Saturday and Sunday before the hunt, we would do our scout to see where the deer were traveling. On one of these scouting occasions, my brother found something very interesting, and he decided to call me over to have a look. What I found was a hole approximately this size that went straight down into the ground and then tucked back at a 90-degree angle. As I was standing observing the dried mud looking for prints, and my brother standing over to one side, my dog nearby as well, I heard a loud growl. I looked down into the hole, and I kid you not, I was staring at this massive black bear's head. Well, several thoughts went through my head, and it's amazing how the mind works. First I thought, where's my dog? Then I thought, where's my brother? Then I yelled, "Bleeping bear!" And then, I kid you not, a thought went through my mind, which is actually a punchline to a joke. You don't have to outrun the bear, you only have to outrun your brother. It all turned out okay. We were fine. And the second lesson on confidence. Confidence quite often is based on circumstance. Where you are at the time, what's going on around you, and how familiar and comfortable you are with the situation. Third lesson on confidence. A young man said to his father, "I don't get you, Dad. When you're out in the world, you are so confident. It oozes out of you. But around the house, you're a spineless jellyfish. You tremble. And I just don't understand it." "Well, son," said the father, "something happened when your mother and I went on our honeymoon that forever changed me. As you may know, we traveled on a horseback trip while we were out in the Rockies. And on the first day of the trip, your mother got on her mount, and as she was riding along, the horse began to misbehave. Your mother gently leaned into the horse and said, 'That's once.' As we traveled a little bit further along, the horse again began to behave badly. Your mother, a little more sternly this time, leaned in a little louder and said, 'That's twice.' Well, the horse actually behaved quite well for quite some time after that. But then it reared when something frightened it. At that, your mother leaned into the horse, said, 'That's 3 times.' She dismounted the horse, reached into her saddlebag, pulled out her father's pistol, and shot the horse dead. I was aghast. I had never seen your mother behave like this. This was a side of her that was totally new to me. I looked at her and I said, 'Honey, why did you shoot the horse?' She looked up at me and she said, 'That's once.'" The third lesson on confidence. Confidence has a lot to do with the people we associate with and we decide to hang around with. Some people help us develop our confidence and we can feed off of those people, and other people tear our confidence down. And so the 3 lessons that we just went through. Confidence number 1 from Gary the Cub Scout Master. Confidence can sometimes be a matter of perception, and it can be misguided or misinterpreted based on information. Lesson number 2, the bear. Confidence depends on our surroundings and the circumstances. You all know that there's places where you can go where you're totally confident, and then there's other places where you feel so out of your element it isn't even funny. And the third lesson, and I think we all know it too well, confidence is based on the people we choose to spend our time with. And I encourage you to spend more of your time with the people who lift you up rather than those who pull you down. Confidence is neither bought nor taught. It's caught. Make sure you put yourself in a position where you catch confidence. Thank you.
Can you use this back?
Yes.
Just a little bit, so I can get the time. Thank you. Please take a moment.